This is on ABBAS, saying from behind the gloves. I'm here with David Haye. David, we're here in the Park Plaza Hotel, where you've announced a joint venture with Ringstar Sports, Richard Schaefer. First of all, we've seen you in the media quite a lot as a pundit. Was this always something you were thinking about getting into the promotional side of boxing?
Yeah, it's always been. I always have been. You know, I've always promoted my own fights. Hayemaker events have always been my promotion, my team. You know, I've got a great team of people working behind the scenes, making sure these shows happen, making sure that, you know, my face is out there, my name's out there, and making sure they promote me. So it was a perfect strategic alliance to team up with Richard Schaefer, who's arguably he's the man behind Floyd Mayweather. You know, he's the man who's promoted all of Floyd's fights since how long? Since
2007.
2007. So yeah, for 10 years he's been promoting Floyd's fights, and we all see how Floyd's name and brand is, you know, up there shining. So if there was anybody I was going to team up with, it was that man. And I obviously saw what he did with Golden Boy Promotions, the CEO of that company. So it was just an easy transition. We both saw boxing and boxing promotion in the same way. We both believe we had the same ethos in terms of, you know, giving empowering the fighters, making sure, you know, the fighters who generated a big pot get the large majority of that pot. And you know, the world of boxing is filled with murky characters who.
Do you want to name any?
I don't want to name. There's no need to. I think people know who's who.
Let me take out my list.
You know, yeah, it's a murky world, boxing. You know, and in the 14 years I've been a professional, and I met a few. You know, I met some good people in boxing. I'm not saying they're all bad. There's some great people, some good promoters, good managers, good agents, matchmakers. You know, television executives. There's a lot of good people out there, but a lot of the time, fighters, I personally don't believe, get a fair shake. You know, they generate in huge pots, and they're not quite receiving what they're generating. And what we've set up is something very, very unique, very different. And we're looking at empowering the fighters, making sure that, you know, the future talent, you know, with the experience of the 14 years I've been a professional, and Richard's experience, we truly believe we can take a fighter from the amateurs to a global pay-per-view superstar. I'm 100% confident. What about you?
Absolutely, and I
He's
think,
done it already.
and I think what I wanted to do when I got back into boxing is to really build up a global platform like it has never been done before, because you have you know, promoters who are very regional, sort of like captive to a particular country. There is the Carises in France, there is the Warrens and the what's the other guy's name? Matchroom, yeah. Barry, not really Eddie. I mean, Barry is the guy.
Eddie's up front. Eddie's on the top table.
Okay. Anyway, so we have those guys, and then you have in the US, you have some guys. So it's like very regional. But what we really wanted to do is build up a global brand. Why? Why is that important? Well, if we sign a fighter here in the UK and we have access to the best TV in the US, we have now access to the best TV in France as well, and pretty soon in other countries as well, we have the eyeballs in those different other parts of the world to build these young fighters up very quickly as global superstars, and not just like regional or national fighters. And that's what we want to do. I mean, we need to keep in mind, if we sign a young British fighter, for example, the home market is here in the UK. It's important to build them up here, to build the fan base up here, to keep having them fight here. But it's equally important to, maybe in the beginning, to have them fight once a year in another place, be it the US, be it in France, be it in Mexico, wherever it is, and start building up that international acceptance for these young fighters.
In regards to time frame, what are we looking like in regards to you announcing signings of fighters, in regards to broadcast, and then your first show? When are we looking at stuff like that?
Before my next fight, we should have some solid signings. We should have some solid signings with some good young prospects. Richard's obviously going back to the States this weekend. We're gonna regroup again in Las Vegas at the end of the month. He's promoting 3 world title fights in Las Vegas. Yeah. Carl Frampton and Santa Cruz rematch. So it's exciting times ahead, and we should obviously got a few more meetings with a few fighters over there in the States. So the next couple of weeks you'll be hearing some good news on in terms of television network and fighters signed.
How are you dealing with this? You've got a big fight coming up, but then you've got all this news coming out. You're working with obviously Richard Schaefer as well, looking at signing fighters, broadcasting, and your fight. How are you dealing with this?
It's nothing new for me. I've always promoted my own fights. I've always, used to juggle a lot of things. As I've got older, I've realised time management and how to structure my training, my day, to get the quality training, get the quality rest, and if there's business to do, I manage to have a time to slot that in. So time management is really important. In the past, I've kind of messed it up. I've done too much business and not enough training, or too much training and not enough business. I've figured out a way now, as I've got older, to get the most out of my day, where I don't schedule too many meetings in the same day, maybe one or two in one day, and I do the rest the next day. So it's time management, but don't think I'm taking this next fight not 100% seriously, because any fighter on any given day, can slip on a banana skin, and I've learned that lesson in the past, overlooking my opponent. I remember in 2004 when I was fighting Carl Thompson, I didn't give him the respect he was due. I was younger, faster, probably punched a little harder. I was younger. I had all the advantages in my place, but the one thing I didn't focus on is punishing myself in training, is putting the hard work in behind the scenes. And I got my time management mixed up there. I got it wrong, and I wasn't in condition to put myself in a tough fight that I was in. So that lesson was learned then, so it's not going to come back to bite me in the bum again.
Make sure you go ahead and do so, because Behind the Gloves is worldwide with our coverage. All you have to do is click this little link right here.